Alright, so you join us for round 2 of the Peachstate PCA Project Cars 2 series on Xbox One, coming from Watkins, Glen. So we're just loading up the replay here so we can take you through some of the events that occurred. So, I managed to scrape third. Matt is on pole, Jonathan is second, Fernando is fourth, and I believe it's Steve who's fifth. Alright, so after a rocky start, I'm back in third place. Just trying to stay out of trouble. Let's let the others get on with it. Let's see what Jonathan's up to. So, running down into the bus stop for the first time, closing up on Jonathan. He gets through super clean. Just biding my time, there's no point trying to crash into somebody or dive down the inside at this point. But it doesn't hurt to put a little bit of pressure on and just see if someone will make a mistake. So super close race. Jonathan in the number 58, I'm in the number 16. John goes around, just getting some wheels on the grass, that's all it takes. So let's catch up with Fernando. So Fernando running in the number 182 S&A Motorsports. Jonathan and it looks like I think Steve in the background. So Matt's well out in front, been setting some blinding laps in qualifying, well deserved pole. But it's down to me to chase him down from second. So you notice some sparking and some weird stuff going on in the replay. That's because the replay was made on a slightly earlier version of Project Cars and the suspension settings have changed slightly, which results in it thinking it's rubbing on the ground. And apologies for any lag, I have to stream the Xbox to my PC to record this. So that's why the cars may seem a bit jerky occasionally. I'm trying to make this a nice close race, but Matt's definitely got the edge on me. This is definitely going to be hard work. Small mistake, slightly too tight through that corner. But he has enough of a lead for it not to be an issue. So running a gap of about 0.6 seconds. Down to the first corner. Trying to close it down. Be respectful under braking. Realising there is another car in front of you. You don't want to be just braking at your normal brake point necessarily, if that's going to mean you run into the back of the car in front. Into the bus stop. Really close now. Down to 0.3 seconds. 1:48.3 on the last lap, which was quite a bit quicker than Matt. Matt's capable of times in the 1:47, so that was a bit of a fluke on my part. Coming back towards the grandstands and the pit complex, ran wide. Race director gives me a 1 second penalty eventually, so I try and back off a little bit to not get the penalty, but not enough to make him happy. All of those penalties are administered by the software, so that sort of makes it fairer. There's no favoritism to any one driver. So penalty received, I may as well just keep going, see if I can pull out more than a second's lead. So I've fallen back to 1.3, that's not where I want to be, so time to close it down again. The bus stop's one area where I seem to do a bit better than Matt, so you can see I'm down to just over a second now, but he gets a better exit, starts to creep up again. Really good run down into the first corner. See if I can carry it up the hill and into the bus stop. Matt's got his setup really well sorted. He's consistently one of the quickest people in our Xbox One series. Already setting some blistering times for the next round at Kota. Definitely having to push to keep up. Matt's dealing with the pressure well. A little bit wide there, that might give me an opportunity. Really close coming down back into the grandstand complex, right on his bumper. Get a good run through there. Can I go down the inside? Not quite. Can I get a good run through here? It's tight. The last two corners. Not quite close enough. Really clean racing, no mistakes from Matt at all. I've got to really focus to try and keep it on the track. And we're coming up on a lap car to B lap now. This will be Steve, I believe. Is he going to see us? Oh, little nudge. It's difficult to see if that was Matt's fault. Let's just rewind that a bit. Looks like a little tap. Oh. Might have been a bit optimistic for Matt on that one. So that led me through, but I wasn't going to take a win because of a crash. That didn't seem right, so I pulled over and let Matt back through. We were also having a good time just chasing around, so let's get back to the action. So Matt's now missing his rear wing, but because we have visual only damage, that's not going to affect his performance. Might make his car look better, but it's not going to affect the performance. So it's not going to be any easier for me to catch him and pass him just because he's superficially lacking some downforce. That's not going to play into the model at all. And he seems to have sprouted a rear wing again, as if by magic. We've left damage as visual only for the first season as people get used to driving. Didn't seem fair to have most of the grid sitting in the pits because they misjudged the corner and hit the wall. So this makes it easier to focus on the racing rather than stand on track, which obviously stand on track will contribute to better overall race times, and therefore you're more likely to win if you stay on track. But as people get more used to the cars, we'll start looking at maybe bringing in damage. So now it's nose to tail. Let's see, we're down to 0.3 of a second again. So I wanted to let Matt back into the lead, but that didn't mean I was going to let him run away with it. Chasing him down. Can I get a look on the inside? Really hard braking. Almost ran into the back of him there. So now I'm on the outside, looking for a late apex that might let me take a bit more speed through there. Bounce off the wall. Not quite what was intended. Into the first corner, hard on the brakes, good line through. Feels like I've got a little bit more speed. Definitely closing him down as we come out of that turn. Matt pulls away a bit as we get onto the straight, so he's got a better exit. But it comes down again as I'm drafting him into the bus stop. It's all about driving the line. If you can keep driving the line, keep driving your race, be respectful of others, then you should be fine. So again, we come back up to, this must be Steve, I think, probably to be lapped for the second time. So he's not having a great day. this should be a cleaner pass, I believe. So Matt gets past. And I get past. It's a great job there. And we're coming up to Fernando, I believe, ahead. Let's check out Fernando. His car's in one piece, so he's been doing a good job keeping it on the track. His last lap time was 2:07 though, so he's about 15 seconds off the pace. So definitely some practice would go a long way there. So he's coming up to be lapped. Matt will go through first, and then I'm following. So Fernando possibly would benefit from having the spotter turned on, so he could at least know someone's there. I'm going to be really cautious about going past because I'm not sure that he's really aware of what's going on around. So he runs off. The spotter's called out that I'm on his right hand side, he's let me through. It's a bit of a rough exit, but serves the point. So now Matt's got a little bit of a jump on me. We should be coming up to Jonathan soon. So that pass on Fernando let Matt get away. We were 0.4 seconds. We're now back up to 1.3. So not insurmountable, but certainly not where I'd want to be. Jonathan's car also looking very clean. 1:52.8. Perfectly respectable lap times there. It looks like I got past. What's going on there? So Matt hit the wall, which gave me a run on him into the second to last corner. I get down the inside and make it stick. Through the last corner, not quite where I want to be, missed the apex, so I was slow coming out that corner, which gives Matt a run down the start finish straight. So he's on the inside. I know he's faster than me, it's just not worth trying to crush it at this time because it's still lap 9, we've got another 9 laps to go. That puts me right on his tail though, so definitely closer. His tyres are going off, mine seem to be in a good position. It's going to be a close race all the way to the end. Or at least it would be if I stayed on the track. So we can see that's cost me 5 seconds, 6 seconds, 7 seconds. So I easily lost 7 seconds there with it, and that was with a quick recovery. So best thing to do obviously is then to drift it around the corner. See what Jonathan's up to. So it's going to take me a while to chase Matt down again. Now he's 7 seconds in the lead. I got a better lap time the last time around, but even so, it's going to take me a while to catch him back up again. So Jonathan's a minute and 5 seconds behind. So he's probably had some time off track, but it looks like he's been doing pretty solid lap times. I mean, he's in the same ballpark as Matt on that last lap. Consistency is key in this game. If you can stay on the track, that's what's going to get you to the finish and keep you in contention for a win. But he looks like he's in a really solid third place here. Fernando is another 40 plus seconds behind him. And it looks like I think Steve's already been lapped. Again, sparks that I was mentioning from the changing version. We saw this on the PC version at Daytona where the replay was captured on one version and recorded for YouTube on another version. See Fernando. His car's still looking clean. Let's go on board with him. So cautious through that turn. Fernando's quite new to online racing, so he's still getting used to his controllers and his steering wheel. See in his rear view mirror he just passed Steve. So one of the things that's really crucial with online racing is to be aware of what's around you, but also to hold your line. It might seem like it's being very polite for Fernando to let Steve pass, but really Fernando's faster, or can be faster. He's certainly a lap ahead. He certainly doesn't need to give up that position at all. And it's actually easier if you drive the line and let the other person pass you, because it makes you more predictable. So yeah, Steve's slightly faster than Fernando's, like 1:59 the lap before, 2:02 on this lap, partly because he's slightly being held up by Fernando. At least when he caught him up he was. So now there's a bit of a gap. It's really down to Steve to drive and, you know, make the most of what he can. So bus stop, not a good place to try and pass. Too much left and right movement. People trying to hit the apexes and take the curbs. This turn is not a good place, but it is a good place to start setting up. So you move over to the right. Again, you can't go down the inside here because it's a late apex. It just doesn't really work. But you can get a good run out, and if you hold your line to the right and you're close enough, you could in theory outbrake somebody into this turn. I think Fernando's car may have ghosted then. That's something that happens if somebody's got a poor connection. Their car will basically become transparent so they don't create an accident because they appear to suddenly become stationary. So it can look a bit weird when you're driving, but it actually stops you being taken out in an accident that really you had no control over and the person in front of you had no control over. So it looks like I've caught Matt up. He must have had an incident on the previous lap. So, can I get past? Where are we at? We're lap 13, so only 3 or 4 laps to go. Really close now. Pushing hard. looks very dramatic with all the smoke coming from the tyres and the sparks and everything else. Oh, late braking. Very nearly ran into the back of him again. See if I can get a good run out of here. Now I knew had been slightly quicker through that second to last turn than Matt on a couple of occasions, so I didn't want to launch in there with minimal braking and tag the back of him. So the gap did grow a little bit coming out of that last turn, but right back there, nose to tail, up the hill, a little bit wide through there. That's going to cost me a lot of time as I come out of the uphill S's. But still in touch. Into the bus stop, hard braking, right, left, use all the curb. Ran wide through there, which is not ideal. Perfect place. Try and line up for a pass. Can I go down the inside? Not quite. That went slightly wide though. That gives me an opportunity coming out of the next corner. Let's take the run. We're coming to the end of the race, so it's time to make a move. So I've had a look. So now it's a case of hanging on to the back of Matt. Really pushing now. Couple of laps to go. I think we go to 18 laps, so there's 3 laps to go. So looking down into turn 1. Turn 1 is not a great place to try and make a move though, but it is a pretty good place to try and force somebody into a mistake. Matt's too good to let the pressure get to him though, so up to the bus stop again, on the brakes. Pretty ragged through there at the moment, but really ran wide there. That was a better line for me, I think, coming out of there. So can I go down the inside? Gonna take a look. Try and outbrake Matt, side by side. Now I want to give him plenty of room because really he has the advantage. So go around the outside, he's out in front. Side by side again in second to last corner. Round the outside. That gives me the ideal line into the final corner. So I heard the spotter announce that I was a car length clear, or that I was at least clear of Matt before I came across. That spotter really earned his keep. Into the first corner now. The last time I got past Matt, he got back past me very quickly, so the job now is to try and pull away. So that last lap was a 1:49.8 versus a 1:51.08. So I've pulled out a seconds lead already. Bit of a drift through there. There's only a couple of laps left, so don't need to look after the tyres, just need to keep the gap behind me. So up to 1.7. So that might give the impression that Matt was holding me up, but nothing could be further from the truth. Something just clicked, and also being able to pick some of my braking zones without having to worry about tagging anyone worked out slightly better for me. And that allowed me to pull out a 2-second gap, so 2.5 seconds now. Let's see where we end up at the end of this lap. A 1:47.2. So that's why I got a 2-second gap over Matt, because I suddenly managed to find 2 seconds from somewhere. So I'm not really doing anything different to what I've been doing all race long. But after 17 laps in the race and several laps of qualifying, you get a feel for the car, even a virtual car, that gives you a bit more confidence throwing it into corners and braking a bit later, running a bit wider, and that all adds up into a faster lap time. So 3.25. Coming up behind Jonathan, so actually that's Steve, isn't it? So I may slow down a bit at the end of the lap, but no, Steve's giving me plenty of room. 1:48.4. And that should be the end of the race. See Jonathan coming across the line. Should be running up towards the end of the lap now. I know he's still at the bus stop. And so he's got a way to go. But this will be his last lap. So Jonathan's having a few issues getting past Fernando on the last lap, which is unfortunate. I don't think this is for position, because Jonathan's quite firmly in third place. So it might spoil his final lap time, but it won't affect his position. And there's Steve to finish off the